Why Sadhguru overlooks emotional intelligence in his teachings. While Sadhguru, a well-known spiritual teacher, covers a wide range of topics in self-development, focusing on inner well-being, mindfulness, and spiritual growth, there are some areas that his approach may overlook or underemphasize. Practical psychology. Sadhguru tends to emphasize spiritual practices like meditation and yoga for mental health, but he may not delve deeply into modern psychological theories such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, emotional intelligence, or trauma recovery. These psychological frameworks provide practical tools for addressing specific mental health challenges. Systemic and societal issues. Sadhguru's focus is largely on individual transformation, sometimes downplaying the role of external factors like social, economic, and cultural influences on personal growth. While personal responsibility is important, broader social conditions like inequality, education access, or mental health care can also deeply impact self-development. Scientific and evidence-based approaches. Sadhguru often draws from ancient wisdom and spiritual insights, which are valuable for many people. However, he doesn't always emphasize evidence-based strategies that are backed by scientific research in areas like neuroscience, behavioral science, or mental health. Material aspects of success. His teachings focus primarily on inner fulfillment and spiritual well-being, often suggesting that these are more important than external success. While this is true for many, others may feel that developing skills related to career success, financial literacy, and personal achievement also play a crucial role in self-development. Cultural diversity in spiritual paths. Sadhguru's teachings come from the yogic and Indian spiritual traditions. While these practices are helpful to many, they may not always address the diverse spiritual or personal development needs of people from other cultural or religious backgrounds. In sum, while Sadhguru's teachings are impactful for spiritual growth and personal well-being, they may not fully address the psychological, social, and practical dimensions of self-development that others find important. Why does he not focus on emotional intelligence? Sadhguru's focus on spiritual practices, such as meditation and yoga, may create the perception that he overlooks emotional intelligence, EI, in the more structured psychological sense. There are a few potential reasons for this. Emphasis on inner experience. Sadhguru's teachings prioritize inner stillness and self-awareness through spiritual practices. He often advocates for transcending emotions and thoughts, rather than directly working on understanding and managing them in a psychological framework. This might give the impression that he bypasses the structured approach of emotional intelligence, which focuses on recognizing, understanding, and regulating emotions in oneself and others. Focus on spiritual growth over emotional regulation. His approach emphasizes spiritual enlightenment and awareness, which he suggests naturally leads to emotional balance. Sadhguru often claims that once individuals achieve a certain level of inner mastery, their emotional struggles diminish. This differs from emotional intelligence teachings, which involve actively cultivating emotional awareness, empathy, and social skills as part of growth. Philosophical perspective on emotions. Sadhguru often presents emotions as transient and not the core of one's being, encouraging individuals to not be overly identified with their emotions. He believes that emotional challenges stem from excessive identification with the mind, and that spiritual practice can dissolve these issues. This contrasts with the EI approach, which emphasizes engaging with and managing emotions rather than transcending them. Criticism of over-psychologizing life. Sadhguru has occasionally critiqued what he sees as the over-reliance on psychological methods in modern self-development, including emotional processing and therapy. He often suggests that such methods focus too much on analyzing the mind, whereas his teachings focus on transcending mental patterns through spiritual practice. In summary, Sadhguru doesn't actively dismiss emotional intelligence, but rather approaches emotions from a spiritual perspective, emphasizing transcendence over management. His teachings may not fit the typical emotional intelligence framework, which is more psychological and relational in nature.